Hello, my little nightmares, and welcome back. It is me, Queen Nightmare, and I am going to do chapter 35. Yikes. And epilogue. So this is the end, guys. Chapter 35. Author's note. Okay, this is the this chapter will be kind of a wrap-up chapter, and the epilogue will be 11 years later. This chapter will have a lot of flashbacks. Oh, good grief. Oh, boy. Harry's POV. Draco and I found ourselves in a restaurant on our 1-year anniversary. We were married for 1 whole year, but we're together for almost 2. We can't believe it's already been a year. I can't believe it's already been a year, he said, smiling. We've been through so much. Yeah, it feels like it's been like 10 years off my life. I'm reading it. I know, I laughed. You know, when we were younger, and I know I say this all the time, I always imagined us being together. Do you think we'd still be together if we dated in school? If I asked you out in school, what would you have said? He asked, and I took a bite of my steak. Well, I probably would have said no, I laughed. Then I guess we wouldn't be together. He laughed. Words can't describe how happy I am, and I wouldn't change anything for waiting and change. Oh my, I wouldn't change this for anything. You're so good to the babies, and Scorpius just loves you. Well, Tom likes you too. It's a giant step from Ginny, I told him. Well, obviously I'm a Malfoy, he smirked. Malfoy Potter, I corrected. Right, you are, he smiled. We had a nice wedding. We did, and everyone seemed to have a good time. Flashback. Do-do-do-do-do. I'm just a dork. Hey, Dragon, I whispered to Draco as we were dancing in at our wedding. Yes, Raven, he asked. We're married, I smiled, causing him to smile and kiss me. We are, he said, excitedly. I love you with all my heart, Harry. All your heart, you say? That's what I said. And that's what I'll believe, I said, and kissed his neck. But you have to believe me when I say I love you more. He dipped me and kissed my lips. I can't. He shook his head. And why not? I huffed. Because it's not possible, he winked. End of flashback. I smiled at him as he was paying for the bill. You know, the first time we kissed, he asked. How could I forget it? I asked, and he smiled. Did I ever tell you what Scorpius said after you scampered away? I didn't scamper away. I had to shower. Whatever helps you sleep at night, he muttered as we walked outside. He wrapped his arms around my waist as we started down the street. Anyway, after I told him not to tell anyone, he said that you were hot and that you were famous. He said it shouldn't be a big deal. He explained, and I laughed. I knew I liked that kid, I chuckled. He went through a lot in 1 year. I owe it all to you while he's back with me, he mentioned, moving from my waist to my hand. No, you don't. I was just your support system, and we knew you'd get him back. But if you didn't burst into the courtroom, he could still be with her, I pulled him into a hug and kissed his cheek. Let's not think of that, yeah. Happy thoughts, I ushered, and he nodded. Okay, we walked to a little field and lied down, looking up at the stars. Sorry, I just had Mexican, I burp silently when I eat Mexican a little bit. So if you hear me pause at a weird moment, that's it. I'm sorry, that might be disgusting, but I have to make a disclaimer. I put my head on his chest and he wrapped his arms around me. You know, when Scorp was a baby, all he did was giggle, and it made me feel like I was doing something right. Elvis reminds me a lot of him. Aw, little Al. He's a giggler, I smiled. When Ted was a baby, he used to change his face and hair involuntarily. So I would go visit him, and Dora would tell me that when he got upset, his hair would turn red, and his face would look like a bull. I laughed. That's adorable. Draco laughed. When did he move in with you? When he was 6. Dora wanted me to be a part of his life just as much as she was, which is why we did the joint custody. I remember that day, the day I met him. Draco started and began to tell me the story. Flashback. Do-do-do-do-do. Dad, I made a friend. Scorpius came home, all excited as Draco smiled widely. You did? What's his name? His name is Ted. He lives near here. Is it okay if he comes over this summer? Yes, of course. Hello, sir. Thank you for letting me come over. My dad just called me. I'm sorry about that. My dad doesn't know how to deliver packages, so that happened. Hello, sir. Thank you for letting me come over. Ted smiled. Oh, anytime. Are you in Gryffindor as well? Yes, sir. I don't really know why. I just met Scorpius this year, but I'm glad I did. He smiled. Well, I'm happy for you. Draco laughed. Dad, we'll be outside, Scorpius said, pulling Ted away. Don't do anything stupid. No promises. End of flashback. Oh well, Scorpius was really respectful when he came over too, I said. Then the next day, Ginny freaking scared you off. Oh, I remember that day, he mentioned. I was like, nope, not dealing with this she-weasel. So I grabbed Scorp and told him we would leave. We needed to leave. He wasn't too happy, but I explained to him in the car that I wasn't the nicest to her, but she was really bitchy. Yeah. Why am I the only one who didn't see it? You, Scorpius, Ted, all did. Because you were blinded by love, he said. But I can see right through you, he laughed and kissed my head. But I can see right through you. He laughed and kissed my head. Well, that's different. We've been together for nearly 2 years. You dated her for 13. Her 13. I grimaced. Gosh, I was such an idiot. I practically yelled. Yes, but you're my idiot. He laughed. Wow, 2 years. I remember our first date. He laughed. Yeah, we went to that restaurant. And that was the kid's first day of 3rd year. Flashback. So tell me more about yourself, I said to Draco, and he smirked. I'm such a loser. He laughed, making me laugh. I'm actually having a nice time. Did you doubt me? No. It's just, relax, Potter. He laughed. You know that nervous stutter is really attractive. I blushed. Thanks, I muttered, and he smiled. You have a really nice smile. You have a really nice smile. I wish you smiled more when we were in school. Why, were you watching me? He teased. No, I defended. But if you were smiling more than sneering, maybe I would have been. He laughed. Thank you. You have a nice smile, too. Eventually, we made it back home, and we reached his bedroom before mine. I guess this is where we part. I knew I'd be the gentleman and walk you home. He rolled his eyes and kissed me. You're such a loser, he said, and I laughed. Good night, Draco. Good night, Harry. End of flashback. That was the night I realized how I wanted to marry you, I said. Draco's POV. That was the night I realized how I wanted to marry you. Harry said, You woke up from my nightmare. You woke me up from a nightmare and stayed in the same bed as me. Well, I was in love with you before, and it seemed to be the perfect time to make my move, I joked. Then he sat up and looked at me. I think from that moment on, I really realized that I love you, and I wanted to be with you forever. I leaned in and kissed his lips. I love you, Harry Potter. Malfoy Potter, he smiled, and I grabbed him and flipped him so I was hovering over him. Harry James Malfoy Potter. I love you so flippin' much. I can't really say it. And if I can marry you every single day over and over again, I would. You are the one of the best things to ever happen to me. I wouldn't change Ginny's mistakes, because if she didn't sleep around, I wouldn't have the most important man in my life today. I looked him in the eyes as I said the whole thing. Since her wedding, he wore contacts and his eyes were even more beautiful. He smiled and kissed me passionately. His hands intertwined with in my hair. Oh, good grief. Please don't tell me that now. I'm at my dad's. I cannot do that. And I'll be demonetized. His hands intertwined with my hair, and he pulled away. He was beaming. Draco Lucius Malfoy Potter. I have a question for y'all. Does anyone else, I know someone who does this to their child. They give their name as their middle name. My name is actually from my great aunt Joanne, so I'm not going to tell you my full middle name, but it's my great aunt, like maybe twice over, like great aunt, but who knows. But my mom's name, it would be Aurora Michelle blah 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 blah. Doesn't sound right? Is it just me? It just doesn't. It's like kind of like inferiority complex. Like you're trying to intertwine them in your lifestyle to not let them fall away from it or something? Or is that just me? Draco Lucius Malfoy Potter. I am so in love with you. I'm surprised I can even think straight anymore. If I could marry you every single day, I wouldn't as well. Because then I can show you that you are the love of my life and no one else. When I was with Ginny, I never felt anything that I feel with you. You changed my life so much, and you care about my feelings. You cater to my needs, and you even let me quit my job because you don't want me overly stressed. I think sometimes that's the best feeling in the world. You're the best thing to ever happen to me. And I wouldn't change one bit of it either, because through mistakes brings reasons. I love you so much, Dragon. He smiled. I leaned down and peppered his face in kisses. I kissed all over his face, and jaw and neck. I kissed his lips once more and lied down next to him. 1 year we've been married, and we've already had 3 kids to share, I stated. Our babies are really well behaved. Yeah, I have 3 good babies, 2 great teenagers, and a wonderful husband. What else do I need? We could get a dog, he suggested, and I laughed. Good suggestion, but we'll have 3 magical babies in about 7 years. That's true, I shivered. And teens, he pointed out. So I rolled over on top of him and hovered again. You're still not forgiven for that prank you pulled, I sneered playfully. Hey, you told me you were pregnant and I freaking fainted. I should be the one to not forgive you. I smiled. I told you. I didn't think you'd faint, but I did. I got you back. Touché, he smirked, and then yawned. Come on, baby Raven, let's head home. I got off him and pulled him up. We weren't far from our home, so we walked. I was holding his hand and gently stroked my thumb on the back of his hand. Do you still remember what house you said the kids would be in? He asked. Lily will be in Gryffindor, Albus will be in Slytherin, and Draco will be a Ravenclaw, I said. And you said Lily would be in Ravenclaw, Draco would be in Slytherin, and Albus would be a Gryffindor. Why do you ask? Let's make it interesting, he smiled. All right, what do you have in mind? If one of us gets them all right, the loser gets a winner a massage. Hey, I would do a massage right now. You know you've seen them in the movies where like you have a stiff back and someone walks on you? That's what I need. I have such tense muscles all the time. I need that. I just need someone to pound the crap out of me and then loosen all my muscles. If we get 2 right, the loser has to kiss the winner 200 times, and if we get one of them right, then the loser would had to cuddle with the winner for at least an hour. These ain't high stakes, but okay. All right, if I get 1 right and you get 2 right, I'd cuddle with you for an hour, then you have to give me 200 kisses. What if we both get them wrong? Then we don't really know our children. He spoke, and causing me to laugh and kiss his cheek. But we need to kiss on it. And when we do, that's what our guesses will stay as. I made him face me. All right, I smiled. Are those your final answers? He asked. Yes, what about you? Absolutely. I leaned in and shared a passionate kiss. I love you, Draco. I love you too, Harry. We made our way back home. The house was quiet, so we made our way upstairs. We checked on the boys first, and they were sleeping peacefully in their beds. We walked into the nursery, and the babies were sleeping, pacifiers in their mouths. We closed the door and made our way to our bed. This is our family, I smiled. We did it, he smiled. Our perfect family. Our perfect family, I repeated. I love you, Harry James Malfoy Potter. I love you, Draco Lucius Malfoy Potter. We cuddled up closer and slowly drifted to sleep. Author's note. Well, this is the last chapter before the epilogue. I can't believe how well the story has done. Over 2,000 reads. Thank you so much. I love you all. XOX. Also, don't forget about my new story, Roommates. I'll post it right after the epilogue because the first chapter is done. Thank you all so much. Oh boy. This is the end. Epilogue. 11 years later. Third-person POV. The triplets, Draco and Harry, all made their way on to King's Cross platform. This is like the end of the movie. Oh crap, an advertisement came between me. It's been a while since we were here. Harry laughed, holding on to his husband's arm. The triplets' eyes widened as they looked around. Smiles were plastered on all of their faces. The triplets did a lot of growing up, and it was their first year at Hogwarts. Lily was a short little girl with a loud mouth. She reminds me of Hermione. Oh my gosh. Just moved up again. She had long blonde hair and her infamous different colored eyes. Both of them were very vibrant and beautiful. Little D, or Draco, resembled his papa a lot. He had blonde hair but was wild like Harry's. His eyes were piercing blue. He rarely smiled. Albus had Harry's raven hair, but it tamed like big Draco's. His eyes started out at a piercing green, but sometimes changed to a dark blue. It's nice. It's probably in the sun they change or so. All right. Well, this is where we say goodbye, Draco declared. All three children turned to him and hugged him. I'll miss you, Papa, Lily said. I miss you too, Lily, Draco chuckled, kissing the top of her head. Don't forget to write and tell us who is in what house. I won't, she chuckled. I want to be a Gryffindor, little Draco told the older man. Harry, did you tell him to say that? He asked, looking at Harry. No. What? No. Harry smirked. Dad, what house did you want us in? Elvis asked. I want you to be any house that you want. Maybe the Sorting Hat takes in account your opinion. And they did for Harry. I want... Really? Little Draco asked. Yes, I was supposed to be in Slytherin. Yeah, but your daddy didn't want to be with me, so he changed houses. Older Draco teased. I didn't change, I just asked not to be in that house, Harry admitted, sheepishly. The triplets giggled as Harry's face turned red. His husband laughed and kissed his cheek. All right, you guys. You guys need to get on before all the compartments are full, Harry stated. He hugged his children and kissed them one last time. Don't forget to tell Hagrid hello. We won't, they all said in unison, for getting on the train. And if I... Do you mind, motorcyclist? Please stop. Sorry. They said in unison before getting on the train and finding an empty compartment. They waved to their fathers from the train, then it set off to Hogwarts. Harry, Draco, they heard. Hermione walked over to them and hugged them both. Ron hugged them both after she let go. Did Rose get on the train all right? Draco asked. Yep, Hermione said, looking at the train. And it looks like she's found the triplets. They looked at the train and Rose was sitting with Lily. Her hair was as red as Ron's, but she had her mother's eyes. Dad? What?
What's the matter?
I'm reading.
What's the matter? What's so funny?
I just hear this.
You sure that tape's not up here, honey? I can't believe we used all that packing tape.
I don't have the packing tape.
Do you mind if I grow a pair and
Touch my stuff?
try to be a brave boy and look here?
Sure, go ahead.
Why are you saving this?
Because it goes to something.
Having trouble saving money, are we?
Yeah, not in that piggy bank. What? That's not packing tape. Those are my glasses.
No, I'm just doing all kinds of weird stuff. Just read, honey. Don't mind me. You got two mice mating over here, you know. I think this is the bride.
That's a princess costume on my, I forgot what they were called. Did you just turn it on?
No. What are you doing? Poker chips.
I don't know. From Mom's or something.
I'll play for wages.
I'll play 21 with you.
I'll take the chips and you will wager who cleans the house this week.
I think I know who's gonna do that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we know. How do we know? Because Daddy cheats.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Grandma cheats.
Don't make me roll you.
That's
Huh. Well, I don't know. I don't understand that. We should probably get you some pillows tomorrow, too.
Yeah. So I don't go, oh, I actually cracked my neck there.
Walmart have pillows?
What?
The guy who sells My Pillow,
Yeah.
those are pretty expensive, but I guess they're good.
I heard that the,
I thought Mom got them. Those are My Pillows downstairs. I thought she gave me 2 pillows. She says, no, they ain't My Pillows.
did you just fart in my room?
That's right, so.
No! That definitely ain't me.
Are these blankets or these pillows?
Blankets.
Sheets. Oh, sheet.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, I'll go back to...
Probably look out in your,
No,
air.
it ain't the garage.
Okay.
Can't be because it's been too cold.
Okay.
Alright, thanks.
You're welcome.
I'll go back down.
Okay. He almost fell down the stairs. Okay. She's nervous to be put in Slytherin, Ron disclosed. We told her that we'd be proud in any house she'd be in, Hermione butted in. That's what we told the triplets, Harry smiled before the train whistled and went off. Well, we need to go, but good luck to you two, Hermione said, hugging them again. You too, Draco and Harry said. They hugged Ron as well. They started walking off so Draco turned to Harry. Well, we have an empty manor, he smiled. Narcissa and, I almost called him Lucas, Lucius, moved out of their manor because it was big for just the two of them. As he was forced to live like a muggle, Lucius was more appreciative of the things he had and gave them the manor to his son. This was shortly after the triplets were born. When They were one. I guess so, Harry smiled. They grabbed each other's hands and something caught both of their eyes. Ginny was standing with Dean, waving goodbye to their child. Harry looked at his husband and smirked. I think she'll be in Gryffindor. You think she'll be in Gryffindor? If you dealt with Ginny, you would have to be. Harry laughed. They walked to the couple and nodded their heads. Ginny had kept her promise and never posted another thing about Harry and his family in the Daily Prophet. They left the platform and walked to the car hand in hand. I'm sure Lily would tell us what house she's in, Draco said. I can't believe it's already been 11 years. You're telling me my babies are all grown up? Harry laughed, so Draco smiled and kissed Harry. And now we wait to find out I am right. You are not right, Draco retorted. There is no way Albus will be a Gryffindor. The kids, he's probably going to be a Hufflepuff. He's so friendly. He sounds so friendly. Well, you haven't heard him speak, but I mean, like, he giggles at anything. I think he's going to be a Hufflepuff. The kid's afraid of his own shadow. You'd be surprised, Harry smirked. Oh, look who's smirking now, Draco said. We seem to swap roles. I smirk and you smile. Harry laughed before he turned to see Draco smiling. There's that beautiful smile. Draco rolled his eyes and kissed Harry's lips. Come on, Raven, let's go home. Dragon, the kids owled us. This is like ... like time passed. Harry yelled, walking into the library. Raven, you ever heard of being quiet in the library? Draco hissed playfully. No, Harry smirked, causing Draco to roll his eyes. Come here, let's see. Draco laughed. Oh gosh. Okay, I haven't even looked at it yet. No, I haven't looked at it. I want to be surprised as they are. Harry walked over to him and sat on his lap as they unraveled the letter and read it out loud. Dear Papa and Dad, I'm a Slytherin. I'm following in your footsteps, Papa. I'm really excited since I'm a Malfoy Potter. Everyone wants to be my friend. Love you guys, Lily. I'm in Ravenclaw. I think I'm really going to like it. People already like talking to me, and I've been acquainted myself. A few others. I love you. Yeah. He could have been a Ravenclaw. He was more of a Slytherin, but okay. Ravenclaw. I didn't know he liked stuff like that. I'm a Hufflepuff. Well, you heard me right now. He's a Hufflepuff. I'm a Hufflepuff. When the Sorting Hat called it out, everyone went silent. Never did they suspect a Malfoy Potter to be in the house. In that house. Ha. But everyone is really nice, and I'm really happy, Albus. We met in Myrtle's bathroom to write this letter. We decided to get together a few times a week because we're triplets and we're used to being together. I have classes with both of my brothers. Oh, and Molly Thomas is... Who's Molly Thomas? Oh. Sucks to suck, Ginny. I'm sorry. Wait, Rose... Yeah. Molly is... Right? I'm so confused. Molly Thomas is a Slytherin, and Rose is a Gryffindor. Well, I mean, who saw that coming? Raise of hands. I'm raising my hand right now, so... Hagrid says hello, by the way, and he was almost in tears when he saw us. He said he remembered carrying you as a baby, and when you were dead, then said, I should have not have said this, but we know from the book what took place. Anyway, we love you. Hope you have fun at home without us. But we'll be back for Christmas break. Goodbye. Your little triplets, Lily, Draco, and Elvis. Harry turned to Draco and smiled. I guess you were right. Draco's in Gryffindor, Harry said. You said my son is in Hufflepuff, he uttered in surprise. Hey, Hufflepuffs are just as good as anyone else. Plus, my little girl is in Slytherin. What if they corrupt her? Oh, jeez. Harry asked, and Draco laughed at and kissed him. If anything, she'll rule the roost. They heard rustling in the fireplace, and Ted and Scorpius rolled out of the fireplace. They were both 25. No, they would be 28, sweetheart. Around 25, you're right. They looked the same, only their faces matured, and they were taller. I told you, I don't like to flow. To flow? Okay. Scorpius spat. Oh, how else would we get in here? I'm not apparating. Hi, guys. Draco laughed. What brings you here? We wanted to see how it went, Ted said. So Harry handed the boys the letter, and they read it. Harry handed the boys the letter, and they read it. Ha ha! Lily in Slytherin. Ted laughed. Why weren't any of them in Gryffindor? Scorpius frowned. I don't know. Harry muttered. Well, it doesn't matter, Ted said. They all seem happy. I think they are, Harry mentioned with a smile. Let's write them back, Draco said. They all nodded, and Harry pulled out a pen and paper. Lily, Albus, and Draco. We are so proud of your houses. We hope you learn a lot this year and get adjusted to the school, just as much as we did. I love you, and we're happy you're enjoying yourselves as much as you say you are. We hope you make a lot of friends, and remember to be nice. Scorpius and Ted say congrats as well. We love you, and don't forget to write. Love, Dad, Papa, Scorpius, and Ted. They sent the letter and gathered on the couch. Draco turned to Harry and kissed him. I love you, Harry James Malfoy Potter. This is our little family. Little? Sorry. I would have said, are you kidding me? Little? We have 5 children. Draco said it, so Harry smiled and nuzzled into Draco. I love you just as much, Draco Lucius Malfoy Potter, and I wouldn't change one single thing in this life, because it means I get to be with you, Harry said. We were in this together. We're still in this together. Right you are, dragon. Harry smiled. I love you. I love you more, Raven. Not possible. The end! Yay! I'm not happy. I don't want it to end. But then again, I wouldn't be able to read my creepypasta. So. And I have a secret to tell you. People have been requesting more, let's just say, Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction, and that's what we're doing. But here's an author's note. Well, that's it. I just wanted to thank you for all of your support throughout the whole story. Never did I imagine it as possible as it is. Over 2,000 reads. Thank you again, and I love you all. XOX. Aww. It's so nice. I highly recommend going to see this author and typing down below what you think of it, and maybe request them to do another one. I don't know. And if you have requests of me doing other ones, please let me know. I'll put you down for a second. And I will say this. Thank you for watching, and if you have anything to request, put it down below. Like, comment, and subscribe. Put on push notifications if you haven't yet to be notified every time I post. Which is going to be a lot because we're in the burr months, which is always September, October, November, December. What they missed was January and February where it's really cold. Well, thank you guys for everything you do for me, and thank you for your support. Be happy, be healthy, and always be loving. Do not judge others. Do not be a Karen, and do not be mean. Just be yourself. If someone has something smart to say, clock them. I'm kidding. I don't condone violence. Yes, I do. I love you guys. Bye-bye.